Afternoon Express, now Mzansi. At the end of the day, we like to call this a masterclass for a reason, because we are always being helped out, getting educated with all things tips, tricks, and just food knowledge. And helping us do so is the incredible Chef Chart and Chef Jay. Now, both gentlemen, I think I burst with all the information after every masterclass, and I'm specifically and especially loving, Jay, all of your kitchen hacks.
Girl, you know, I grew up, you know, learning in the kitchen with my mom, and these are little tricks that I learned along the way that I think are just so special, and just to help the viewers out there just really get into the kitchen and get cooking, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, you know, one of those things is you start to learn those fundamentals at a young age, get the kids in the kitchen, start working that, you know, educate them, and then you learn all the way. I mean, you know, everyone goes, oh, you're the chef and you can cook and you know this and you know that and you're always getting tips from me, but I'm still learning as well.
Wow.
And, you know, I think one of the biggest things which I enjoy and love doing, and even part of the show, you know, things go on a different course sometimes,
yes.
you know, and you don't always sort of, you know, practice what you preach as well.
Hey,
you're really honest,
true?
you know, and, you know, you do take shortcuts here and there, and they do, you know, come and bite you in the back, and they just remind you, hey, go back to what the fundamentals
are. Go back to the basics. Well, indeed. Whether it's tips, tricks, and hacks, we love engaging here on Afternoon Express. And we're also going to be engaging on our social media platforms. And today, we want to find out from you, what is your favorite dish with potatoes in it? Make sure you use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, one of my personal favorite potato dishes have to be a gnocchi. Now, making gnocchi from scratch is much less complicated than you think. You only need a couple of ingredients to make the soft and scrumptious potato-based pasta dumplings. Now, the mushroom and the sun-dried tomatoes mixed with Clover's Authenticos yogurt changes the humble gnocchi into a show-stopping restaurant dish. Now, I'm not sure if you gentlemen saw there. I kind of wanted to say potato, but what wanted to come out was pasta, because I've always wondered, gnocchi, is it a potato or is it a pasta?
Well, it's potatoes. This is based there, basically. So literally, you've got some mashed potato on here, which you want to put a little bit of flour to, and you want to keep it light. So in essence, actually, it's a dumpling. That's what we've actually got that we, you know, once created here. And you want to keep it very sort of light with the flour, because the more flour you're going to add, the stodgier it's going to become. So when you're out there and you go to a restaurant and it's sort of very sort of gloopy and sort of, you know, off-putting, they know they've got lots of flour in it there. So you really want to make sure you add as little as possible, really, at the end of the day. So just take a little bit of the mashed potato, and you sort of start rolling that out. Now, if it's quite a bigger lump like that, I'm just going to take mine and break it in half and work with half to start with. And then you just want to start just rolling that out into a long sausage, really, out at the end of the day. So not adding too much there. You can see it's pliable, but again, we've got that wonderful sort of potato that's sort of lying there that's going to be light and fluffy. And all you want to do is literally just sort of warm these up and then coat it in some lovely flavour, which Jay's actually doing over there.
Jay's busy.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we move on to Jay's station, I want to find out from you, Chef. We've already seen Chef Jay giving us that hack on how to create the perfect mashed potato. But this mashed potato consistency surely has to be very different.
Well, check his mashed potato he did and showed you. You want to make this as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want to make something smooth, and I'm afraid I'm a very big stickler for smooth mashed potato, is you actually pass it through a sieve. Yeah, twice.
Sure.
And let me tell you, you get something so silky and so smooth. All right? So that's when you really want to make sure you got something really smooth. So great ways, great hacks that he's got. But if you want to go that extra step, if you're working at a top-end restaurant there, they'll put it through maybe a ricer first and then through a sieve, what they call a drum sieve. And you literally got a spatula and you're just going to sort of just keep pushing it all the way through.
We also have to have this gnocchi tasting delicious. So, Chef Jay?
So I think one of the nice things about gnocchi is that it really absorbs the flavour of any sauce. Now, traditionally, I think a lot of people would just do a brown butter or something very simple, but we are going ahead and doing a little sauce here with some sautéed mushrooms and onions, a little bit of garlic, some mixed herbs, and then for the creamy aspect to the sauce, I'm going to be using some of the Clover Authenticos that you mentioned earlier, just to give it a bit of body, and we're going to lightly simmer this down until it thickens and is ready for those little pillowy babies over there.
Oh, absolutely.
It looks like this gravy and the flavour coming out on your side, Jay, is truly starting to come to life and come to shape using that Clover Authenticos, because at the end of the day, Clover Authenticos is the only authentic Greek-style yogurt in South Africa. It's also available in the coconut flavour as well as apple and cinnamon. It is perfect for those in-between snacking moments. But today, we're not snacking on it. We're using it to kind of thicken up that creamy base. But Chef, you seem like you've got those gnocchi shapes.
Well, yeah, so what I've just done is literally roll it into that thin sausage and just cut it up. And you can keep it rustic. I mean, this really is a humble peasants kind of style dish, really, at the end of the day. You know, the humble potato here. And you can literally just cook them straight like that, or you can get your fork and you might put a little bit of more flour on them. And what you want to do, then just roll it. Whoop, that one disappeared. Oh, there's always one running away.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just want to sort of fork it on there, and you get in that lovely sort of cavity that you can get all the sauce that then tucks into it.
That's what that is. Because, Chef, can I tell you something? Don't judge me, South Africa. I always used to think that there's something, man, in the rolling and the cutting of the gnocchi that creates the shape.
What that you've got there as well, you're basically a paddle. So remember those, gone the days where you sort of did butterballs, so like a butterball paddle. And what you then take that and then you sort of just roll that off. And what that does is leaves the marks on the outside. So that's when you've got marks on the outside versus the marks on the inside.
And at the end of the day, it helps becoming that courier that we need to soak up all of that delicious sauce. Now, we've got a taste tester for me here. And something that's also very iconic is South Africa, you know how much I love my meat, ne? But this is actually a plant-based dish, and I'm kind of into it because sometimes gnocchi can be so hearty and so delicious, it doesn't even need the meat. So the mushrooms here definitely play that role, and let me give it a good taste.
So whilst you're doing that, literally into some boiling salted water. It's going to be 2 minutes. This cooks quickly. The potatoes are already cooked. You just actually want to finish cooking the flour, and that's why it's very important not to add too much flour. And you're going to see they're going to start coming to the surface, and as they come to that surface, we're going to pop them into the sauce, toss it, and serve straight away.
Any last tips and tricks, Jay?
Yeah, I think just that last bit, just quickly in the sauce, because obviously they're going to be cooked. You don't want to get them rubbery and
cook further.
Bob's your uncle.
Stunning. Now, if you would like to get your hands on this recipe, simply head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. But just in case you've missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.